Here we go. So hello, everyone. I am Alana Wakeman from the Forest and Bridge Real Estate Group at Remax Real Estate Center. And I am here with Brittany of many things, but she's going to explain that. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a little bit
Good.
of sunshine. The kids are in daycare, so I can get work done. So yes, I am good.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Yeah, finally sunshine.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
excited to interview you and hear more and let other people hear more because what you do is, I think, very beneficial to businesses, I mean, in a general sense, but especially now. So
yeah,
let's jump in.
yeah. Thank you. So yes, hi, my name is Brittany. So as Alana said at the beginning, I do many things. But my main focus is, and why I'm here is for my website design and build business. So I operate under my own name. So I'm just Brittany Gruden, and I threw on enterprises to make it sound a little more professional.
Esquire, the third.
You gotta jazz it up some way, right? But yeah, and especially right now with COVID, I mean, I think my business right now has been so important and detrimental to small businesses and large businesses through COVID. I actually was able to take my business fully full time right now because of how busy it is with people, that demand of needing a website, needing a social media presence. We're watching things, escalate, things be shut down even longer right now. And the ones suffering are the small businesses, which is where my heart is.
Yeah.
We've always had a small business in our family. My mom now owns a small business in Wortley, and I'm just watching us all be closed down, and why I'm not sure. It's unfair, and it's you guys that are taking the hit. So my big thing right now with my website design and build business is I want to be able to help out any small business that I can to any extent, to help keep their business alive through this pandemic, and kind of transition them to an online business while they can. And then, obviously when things open up, you now have that second source of revenue. When your storefront opens up, you can still be on the back end doing your orders online, and having that social media as well that I help with. So I've noticed a big kick in it right now. And I'm just so fortunate to be able to be the one that's kind of helping and being able to give back the way that I can with local businesses right now.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. We
Yeah.
actually, our real estate website is through our like contact management thing, so that's a separate thing. But Brittany actually just did a website for Cindy's photography, which is awesome, and we love it. And we're working on getting that going. We're doing a couple different website things at once, so
Yeah.
it's been a lot. But you did a great job with that. It was a really
You.
super easy process because obviously you can't meet with people in person right now, but we did a Zoom meeting like this, and you got our vision and ran with it and did a great job. So I can say from personal experience that she is lovely and great. I'd love for you to get into a little bit more of your social media side of things and what you do there and how you can help businesses with that. Because maybe they do already have a website, they don't need the design and build, but I think there is that push to be able to engage with people on social media because that's really all we have right now. You can't do those face-to-face things and interact that way.
Yeah, and I think right now too, and it has been for a while, like social media is very prevalent. It's one of the first things people probably look at on their phone when they wake up in the morning. It's probably one of the last things that they're scrolling through at night before they fall asleep, which is a super unhealthy sleeping pattern I've learned. So like
Yeah.
maybe we should turn them down at 9 o'clock. But anyways, so and that's the thing, right? You're looking at everyone's stories, you're seeing what they have available, and that's how I'm doing a lot of my online shopping and supporting local right now. Is what are they showing on their stories? What are they showing on their Instagram, Facebook that they have available? How can I buy it? Curbside pickup, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So for me with social media, I do a couple things as per usual. So I started off doing a 3-part social media workshop. So pre-COVID, this was in person. It was so much fun to be able to gather as a group. We did it 3 Sundays in a row. I actually co-hosted it with another local business friend of mine. And we just had so much fun with it. She went one way, I went the other way, and she was like, you do it yourself. Like, this is so your jam. You don't need me. So I continued to do it on my own, which was awesome. And then COVID hit. And I was like, okay, how can I still gear this with people, but still be able to do it? So went with the flow, and we did it via Zoom, which worked. But now I've actually decided to offer it as like an evergreen workshop. It's all pre-recorded, and you just purchase all 3 parts, or you can purchase them individually on my website. I found that was a lot easier because not everybody can commit, you know, especially with being at home. Yeah. At one point we didn't have daycare, so someone was always having to be home. The kids were there, you know. So I was like, you know what, it's just easier. You can have the content, work through it at your own pace, and I'm always there as a resource to reach out to. Always just send a message or an email. So that was kind of one of the things I started with. And then that led into more of like creating almost like programs that I have. So I've got 3 different set programs. Everything is very customizable. A big thing for me is people's budget. I don't want anyone to ever feel uncomfortable paying, you know, a certain fee. I want it to be very catered towards what their budget is, especially right now with COVID. You know, their work has probably slowed down. So I kind of work with that as well. So I have set programs, but I always meet, we always chat. What do you need? We can take something out, we can add something in, that kind of thing. Where, you know, these programs are, I kind of am your little, I call myself your social media sister. So I'm kind of there. Hopefully you have a good relationship with your sister, so you can think you're holding hands and like working together, because that's what I mean. So I'm kind of just there to help. You know, I help plan some of your posts, I get some of your content, help with captions, help with posting time, scheduling, all of that kind of stuff, come up with a content calendar for you. And then as the package grows, you know, what I do grows with it as well. But, you know, it's essentially just there to hold your hand and help you navigate those waters and take some of that burden off of you as the business owner who might not have all the time in the world to focus on the social media side of things. I can kind of take that on for you and help you still be able to benefit from the social media world, but not be exhausted by it.
That seems like a really nice balance, because then the business owner can still like have their voice, and it's not coming across as too like corporate, straight branded type content. So it's still that person, you're still interacting, but you're, like you said, taking that exhaustion level out of it, because it can take so much time to create content. And if you don't know where to go, and you don't know what programs to use, and you don't know, it's like super overwhelming to even do the research to get to the point to create the content, and then it might not even be successful. So that's great that you can, like you said, hold hand and guide with all that, so someone can have the time to do the parts of it that they enjoy, or the parts of it to have their voice, but without having to do this whole thing and be overwhelmed.
Exactly. Yeah. And those were tricky waters for me to navigate, because at the beginning I was like, I'll just do a full takeover. I'll do your posts. I'll do your captions. And then I started to realize, like, I talk like Brittany Gruden. I don't talk like Alana Wakeman. So to do your post for your, like, it just, and I am one that I'm all about authenticity and being yourself and being genuine in all avenues of your business. And I felt like I was almost being a fraud with that, because I knew these businesses weren't being themselves, they were being me. So I was like, you know what, we're going to make this completely customizable with what you need, and I'm just there to hold your hand and help you through it, and take that level of exhaustion. And if anyone's like me, if I get really overwhelmed, I just don't do it. Same. Is my answer. So I find a lot of people are exactly like that. They're like, I'm overwhelmed, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, because you want it to be so perfect, and if you can't do it to that level of perfection, you don't end up doing it at all, which is a backwards way of doing it. But I know you're not alone, because I'm the exact same way. Kyle and I had a conversation about this yesterday, and lots of other friends and business owners are the same way too. So that's huge. So you do have such a passion for small businesses, and I know that you've been involved with a variety, like at the Western Fair with your friends, and obviously with your mom's boutique now in Wortley. And like, is that how you got into this? Was because you're such a supporter of small business to begin with, or did you have a passion for like the design and stuff on your own?
I guess a mix of both. Now that I actually, like, the more people I've talked to about my business, like, and how it got started, the more I realized it did stem from like years and years and years ago, but I didn't realize it until now. So I never really had an interest in what I call the nerdy side of this, like the coding and all of that and the design. I don't think of myself as being creative in that sense, but I've been making websites since I was like probably like 10, 11, 12. You know, we'd have blogs, we'd have things growing up that I would just make websites for friends. I had a blog, you know, and I didn't think anything of it. I could like whip it out like that, no problem. Everyone's happy, and I didn't think anything of it. And then I actually went back to school kind of as an adult while I was working full time, and I got my business degree. So I knew business was something I wanted to do. I did work for my parents, so I knew having that, you know, entrepreneurial spirit inside of me was there. I just didn't know which avenue to go with. I'm a Gemini, so I'm very much like all over the place. If anyone's into horoscopes, they know what I mean.
Excited. That's what Piper is too, right?
Yeah.
So,
And I would dabble in things and then get bored and be like, I don't want to do this and things like that. So the one thing that always stuck was social media for me. And I always had a passion with it. Every time they, you know, update the algorithm with Instagram, even though I wasn't necessarily running my business online, I would learn what that was so I could get ahead of the curve and help people that way. And then, yeah, I got involved with various local small businesses, had a couple different networking groups that I was involved with, and got to meet a ton of amazing people pre-COVID. And that kind of was what stemmed everything, because, you know, I would help them, and they just had that entrepreneurial spirit, and they really just boosted me up to be like, you can do this. Like, why aren't you doing this? And I was like, okay, all right. So kind of just started dabbling in it. And then I ended up leaving my corporate job 2 years ago in last June. So 2.5 years ago, I guess now. And then through that, again, helping another local business. I had a friend starting a vet clinic. I love animals. I have my dogs right here beside me here. So I wanted to help her any way that I could. So I kind of dabbled into that a bit to help her. And then once COVID hit, I was just like, no, you know what? I need to be at home. I'm turning people away because I'm here. Yeah. You guys don't really need me. This wasn't what my journey was supposed to be. And I kind of took that leap, and now we're here. So I guess a bit of both. The short end of that, or the short answer is a bit of both.
Yeah. Awesome. Very awesome. And now you do dabble in a couple other things. Do you want to touch on those quickly? Like, I know this is the bread and butter, but you've got a lot of other things on the go too.
Yeah, so I mean, what happened was, it came by it honestly. I'm partnered with a local church here in London, so for Christmas, I wanted to do a way to give back, and I wanted a Cricut. You can kind of see my Cricut machine in the background here. I wanted a Cricut machine because I love like custom shirts, like with fun sayings on them, and I'd always see them on Pinterest and be like, oh, I could make that. And so anyways, I talked hubby into getting me a Cricut for Christmas. And I got it early. So I actually started making t-shirts for our church with like faith-based sayings to give all the proceeds. So all I did was take the cost of the shirt and the vinyl out, and I gave everything back to the church, which was so much fun. And I had such an overwhelming response from that. And I had so much fun with it that I was like, okay, I'll just keep doing this. I found a couple really good suppliers. You'll see behind me, I've got some mugs and cups. Like I pretty much vinyl anything that I can vinyl now. If I can stick it to it, I'll make it.
Yeah.
So I just I do that just for fun. I find it's a really good break with all of the website and social media stuff. I'm really sitting in front of a computer and using like my brain, I guess, to kind of do the design work. Whereas when I'm doing the vinyl, it's more hands-on. I almost find it therapeutic to like weed out the letters, as weird as that sounds. Like I don't have to think about anything. I can shut everything off outside and just kind of go about my way and create something for somebody. And I've had fun with that from a creative perspective as well. Yeah, and I guess that's really all I'm overly dabbling in these days, I guess. I mean, I'm always partnered with some sort of network marketing company, because I do think there's some benefit to getting a discount or product at a good discount type of thing. But mainly my businesses are that. That's kind of I think that's all that I have up in the air right now. There's a couple big projects in the works that I'll be announcing soon, so stay tuned for that. But that's all I think I can share right now.
Yes. So where can people reach you? How can they get in touch? How can they follow along with you? Find out more about your program, all that fun stuff.
So my website, so it's just brittanygruden.ca. So I'll share that in one of the typed out answers. Yeah. And then on social media, there's a couple different ways. My most predominant page that I use is That Social Blonde, rather suiting. And then all my vinyl work is over on That Vinyl Blonde. So I tried to keep things pretty unanimous, try to keep it under the same umbrella. So heaven forbid, if I ever want to dye my hair, we're going to have a problem.
Total rebranding of your entire life.
So yeah, so website, social media, that's where you'll find me. And brace yourself if you go to my social media. There'll be a lot of selfies, a lot of dogs,
Yes.
and a lot of pink.
Yes, yeah, I can vouch for all of that. That is all great. Okay, great. Well, thank you again, Brittany, for allowing me to interview you, and wishing you very much success with all your endeavors. And everything will be posted below, all the contact information for Britt, so you can get in touch if you are interested in learning more about her web design and her social media programs. So thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. This will be great.
Yes, happily. Okay, we'll talk soon.
All right.